Okay, highlights from GreatStockPicks.com on Monday, May 7th. Try to go over everything I put forth today. United Airlines, no particular order by the way. United Airlines, strong out of the gate. Loved the volume. Actually switched to 60s at one point, and you could really see going back all the way to late March how strong that first hour of trading is. Sometimes it's a good idea to do that. Switch time frames. Makes you more of a believer in the idea, okay? So this first pullback, I was looking for an entry. Finally on this first pullback, made the call for our chat members, 23.19. I'm putting horizontal lines there, so when I go back over the charts, you can see the buy and then where the stop is. So 20 cents risk, 23.19. This made it to 23.81. So pretty nice move there, and really never came back to our entry. I love those. Don't even have to worry about the stop when that happens. Herbalife, kind of an interesting setup here. One of our members, Trader09, pointed this out, actually, HLF, when it looked like this nice base. He liked it over this base, and I didn't disagree with him. On the daily, Herbalife just super beaten up, okay? So this is the kind of stock that if you get an afternoon high of day break, you can get a little rally. After this break, I noted to the room, I put on the chart and noted that this still hadn't broken its early high. When you have a stock that looks like that daily chart on Herbalife, and you get an afternoon break out of a base and through the early high of the day, you can get a nice rally. Okay, so I was projecting this live for the room. You see this blue line here? This was my buy call. It looked just like this when I put it on everybody's screen. I said I like this at 46.88 with a 46.68 stop. What was my thinking here? That if this gets through the base, it's probably going to get through the high of the day and give me a nice rally. Okay, but rather than buy the high of day break or the base break, it was coming off the lows of this base. So this way, you buy it as it's moving up inside this consolidation, and your stop goes right below it. I'd much rather buy near the bottom of this base than an attempted base breakout. Okay, 46.88, 46.68, gave the trigger and stop and projected it live. And right there, in one candle, you get the 46.88, you get the base break, and you get the high of day break. And it went to 47.52, I think, pretty quickly. So there's, in about 10 minutes time, maybe 15, a 64-cent move on a stop that never was in danger. Matter of fact, your entry price was never in danger after taking that. So there was a couple nice ones. Again, I'm going to try to go over all my ideas from the day. Disney, you see the blue line again. This was my entry idea. Looked like this at the time. I projected this live onto our members' screens. I said over this candle, Disney, which would have been 43.33, stop 20 cents below. And it gives you plenty of wiggle room that way. And from 43.33, this makes it almost a 44. And you can see the stops are wider. I'm doing that to adapt to this new market where they target your stops and come down and get you. So does this mean I would have let this make this move and then come down and take a 20-cent loss? Of course not. Selling into the first spike on some, making sure I have a can't lose trade on the rest. All right, what else do we have today? HUN was strong, pulled back, and then it made a nice move. So I bought it or called it on this pullback here. Somewhere around 1508 HUN, worst case stop. Yeah, 1508 worst case stop, again 20 cents. It looks wide, but again, I probably wouldn't let it go there, but 1488. And from 1508, ends up making it to 1540. This was one that just didn't do much, but certainly didn't cost our members any money. LPX is an example of one. This there was my entry idea. I'm not going to go into. There's a stop. Moved up a little, came back down. Never came close to stopping out, but also didn't really tear it up for anybody. NVDA is another example. NVIDIA, my call was right here. Crazy. It looks like a crazy wide stop because NVIDIA had a narrow range today. But again, from here, I don't know, 1250. It made it over the course of a couple hours to 1265. No, these don't belong. People say, well, why don't you include all your trades in highlight videos? Basically because of this. These don't belong in a highlight video, but people want me to go over every idea. So some of them are lackluster. Anyway, Wells Fargo, WFC. Gap down, but then super strong right out of the gate. Love this kind of setup when you gap down and then engulf the previous day's close. These deserve to be on our radar. This was my entry idea. I also gave a secondary entry idea right here, but either way, see the 20-cent stop held well. 33.20, and this made it to 33.64, something like that. So still not a bad move. This was one I projected early. when it looked like this, I believe. Gave the entry ID and the stop. Stop held fine and rallied for most of the day. Let's see what else I have here. That might be it for the... Nope, that's not it. Leg Mason LM. Another one. Gap down, strong out of the gate. Loved this setup. I didn't play this one well. I called this one here with a 20-cent stop. This one stopped me out for the 20 cents. And then it ends up kind of going back up, but really sideways most of the day. So I liked it, though. I mean, this one was beaten up and really, really rallying out of the gate today. It's just an example of one that didn't work. I believe that's probably the only one all day that didn't work. Let me see if I have anything else. I think that's it. Pretty good Monday. Also, this wasn't an official, but some of us were trading TPX. I nibbled on TPX as a swing and ended up with a 46.81 average, I think, which would have been right about here. And then when it went up over 50, I became a seller on my swing. So I still have a few shares on TPX, but this was not an official call in chat. I did tell everyone when it looked like this that I had a 46.81 average and was swinging some. Whenever I swing, I usually take it real small. So, but anyway, whenever I, 46.81, next thing I know, I'm up almost $4. I couldn't help it. I sold, I think, 2/3, and I still have a little bit left. And we'll see what happens. Crazy daily chart on this one. I mean, so beaten up. Maybe this can rally going forward, but it was not much of an intraday trader jumping all over the place. All right. Anyway, pretty good Monday. We'll talk to you guys later. Yeah, I guess that's it. I'll put out a list tonight of what we're watching for tomorrow, but otherwise that's it. Talk to you later.